Welcome to an introduction to Microsoft Word 2016. I'm your host, Star, and this project is funded under a grant contract with the state of Tennessee. Thank you, Sweet Home, Tennessee. Now, in today's session, this is an introduction, and we have a lot to cover in a short period of time. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share the desktop and we'll begin with the introduction of the application. One moment, please. Okay, we should be looking at the desktop here. So let's begin by going to our search to be on the same page as we introduce the application today, which is Microsoft Word 2016. So open Word by using the search window box or by double clicking on the desktop icon for Microsoft Word if you have it on your desktop. So we'll go ahead and type in Word. And as you can see here, we get a best match, and there's that application and the logo, blue logo W for Word. And if we look to the right, as I hover over Office, we see the Office, and below that is a drop down of the basic programs that I own, which is the 2016 version of Microsoft Word. Now, Word Processor is an application or program that allows you to create, to edit, and again, we're talking about Word. So we're talking about Microsoft Word, and it allows you to create, to edit, and produce text documents such as letters. You can do cards, you can do flyers. There are abundance of options. Microsoft Word is a word processor created by Microsoft. The first version of Microsoft was released in 1983 as a competitor to WordStar, which at the time was the most popular. Just a fun fact there. Now, what is Microsoft Office, right? So as I mentioned here, here's the word Office, right? And as we hover over, we get these bundled. As I said, I own these. So what that means is the term Microsoft Office refers to Microsoft's entire suite of Office productivity applications. So Microsoft Word is one of the many applications that are grouped under the Microsoft Office umbrella. Now, of course, there is also now the Office 365. We won't get into it. It's a subscription where you pay monthly. There are numerous benefits to having that, but we're not getting into that. We're covering today the basic of Microsoft Word. So we found it. We'll go ahead and open it. And again, we can double click on it. Once you find it, you might have, if you use the mouse, move your arrow to it and then click on it, and then it'll load up for you. And so once we have this open from here, let's go ahead and click on New. And in this window, if we know what we're looking for already, we can search or use the suggested field. See the bottom here says suggestions to search. There's cards for business, flyers, letters, education, resumes, and cover letters, and holidays. But because we're doing an introduction, before we dive into creating a Mother's Day card, that's what we're going to be creating for today's project. Super exciting. I'm excited. All right, so let's just go back to the home, which just click in that arrow, and we're going to go to a blank document so that we cover the basic requirements as far as the navigation around the program, so that it makes it easy for us to create and have fun, because we understand where to go and do the things that we want to do to our project. All right, so we have our Microsoft Word blank page open. And so here, the first thing we're going to cover is our title bar. So on the top, this is called the title bar. And on the left-hand side, you have your save. See that? It's bolded, so that means it's active. This is kind of grayed out. You can't really click on it, so that means it's not active. We have not really typed in anything. There's nothing to undo yet. And this is active because it's been selected as a customizable option in our toolbar, which we will dive into right now. So this is going to be that little kind of like an eject symbol. Go ahead and click on it. It's going to give you this drop down screen. And then from here, anything you see that has a check mark, this is an indication that I, Star, personally chose what I want to be displayed on the toolbar. So if you're interested in having, say, the new page available, you see what happened? Now we see our new page. So if we need to start a new page, instead of having to go to File, New, we can easily just click on it. And now we see Document 2 appeared. And if we go to our Word here, there's 2 documents open. Okay, so remember that's right over here. It's a drop down. I'm just going to go ahead and remove it, but know that that option is available to you there. Okay, now keep in mind with the undo, be aware that the undo button is not located anywhere else. So let's look at the undo. So here's the undo that I'm referring to. Okay, so be aware that the undo button is not located anywhere else in the application except for the quick access toolbar. So if someone happened to undo it, right, for whatever reason, and then someone else after, assuming we have multiple users utilizing the computer, right, different people like different customization. If you don't find it, don't panic. Please just remember eject, go to your eject drop down, and then you'll see it right here. Click on it. Whew, now we can breathe. There it is. Undo is back. Okay, so I wanted to bring that out because that's kind of given a lot of people a lot of headaches in the past that I've taught. Now, let's see. The next thing we want to cover is some of our tabs. Okay, so the File tab, the Home tab, the Insert tab, these are called tabs. And so if we go ahead and click on, say, the Home tab, these are all the options available to us to customize our document. Okay. If we click on the Insert, these are the available options, right? So we have the option to insert pages to our cover page, to a blank page. We can do a break page. We have the tables. We can insert a table. We can insert pictures from the computer or from online. We can insert shapes. We can insert art, smart art, and that's what that is. A list and cycles and processes. This is more like really strategic processes work, but that option is here. It's all under Insert. There's your screenshots, and then we got more. There's your Wikipedia, if you're familiar with that. There's your online videos. If you want to insert an online video, you just have to copy and paste your URL, pardon me, or embed the code here. Okay, your links, your comments, and so forth. Now, let's see. Let's look at the Home tab, and in the Home tab, let's look at our drawings, right? So we see here, we got the arrow. If we can change our text typing as far as the display of it to make it beautiful or whatnot right up here, and then we can begin, you know. That's how it would work, okay? That's what that is, the shadow. Okay. Let's see what other things we want to cover. Arrows. So the arrows could indicate couple things, right? The front group arrow. Let's look at some arrows. Let's look at the drawing. Our drawing would be in Paint. Here is our Paint. And here is our drawing border lines. Not okay. Let's do this. And if I do that, and we're gonna paint it, just to make it stand out, right? Let's do that. Okay. So we should see that change, but it's quite. You don't see the change. It's very faded. But anyways, moving along. The next thing we want to cover really is the display option here, your ribbon display option on the top right hand side. This is really nice and handy when doing if you are a writer, right? If we're writing a letter or of some sort. So if we do the auto hide, it gives us that nice clean look so that we can proceed with our you know, day, right, and begin doing whatever we're doing. So it's a nice cleaner look, and don't panic, it's really easy to get our ribbon display option back. All we have to do is click back on this arrow to get the drop down, and you can show the tabs and commands, or just the tabs depending on which options you want to use. Or if you click on this little ellipse, it's a little dot, it brings it back. So it's an auto hide. See what happens? You don't even have to click on the dot, you just click on that blue as soon as you see it, and it brings back our commands and tabs. But it's a nice cleaner look. Now, the next thing we want to cover is the sizing. So the sizing is going to be in our home. Here's our home. And let's say, let's bring it back to show it. Okay. So we're talking about sizing. Let's say we want to change our sizing. We could change it via the fonts. Now, if we say we want to minimize it, we can click on that, see what happened. There's that document 1, there's document 2. So it just minimized it. There's that, minimize. Okay, let's bring that back. Now, the next thing we want, let's close that out. I'm gonna work with that. The next thing we want to cover is the find. As far as just to bring to your awareness, keep in mind, this is really handy if we're looking to replace certain things, right? So if you're finding certain text, you can find the whatever item and replace it with, or go to. And here's our go to, what page, sections, line, comments. So it's the find and replace field, and that's by clicking on this little magnifier. It gives us here this drop down. We can navigate and search our entire document. Navigation, we can resize it if it's, you know, taking up too much. Okay, so that option is available there. All right, now let's cover the file tab. So we've covered quite a bit of the home and the insert and design, and this will get into the design and layout when we actually begin creating our Mother's Day card. But for now, let's go ahead and cover our file tab. Now, there's a lot of information that we, to our best interest, to know, so that we don't struggle and have our projects become complicated, less than an expansion to our knowledge, right? So, all right, here we are. We're in the file tab. So a couple of things we need to cover within the backstage. We have our info, okay? So the info is essentially the logistics. This section of the backstage view offers an easy use interface for, let's say, inspecting the document for hidden properties or personal information that you do not want to display. So this is where you get to see the author. Here's the author star. You get to protect your document if that is something. You can restrict editing. You can, mark as final, always open, read only. So you can encrypt it with a password. So this comes in really nice to protecting your data, particularly for, not sure where it's going to be passed on to. Now, the next thing we want to cover is our save and save as. The difference between the save and save as is the save assumes that you've already saved a document. So it's going to save it where you've previously saved it before. If you have saved it before and you already know where it's located, say you saved it to your desktop, then click and save would be appropriate. But if it's the first time, the save as would be the most appropriate. Otherwise, Microsoft Word by default will save it in your documents. So if you're unaware how to navigate to your documents within your, computer settings, it might be difficult, right? So if we want to save something specifically to our desktop or a certain folder within our documents, the save as would be the most appropriate. And then we can browse from the save as. And then from here, we can tell it precisely where we want to save it to. Okay, so save as is best used for first time document so that you tell it where you want to save it. So you'll know where it is for future reference. All right. The next thing we're going to cover is the status bar of the document. But before we do that, actually, because we're kind of bouncing back and forth, we're in the save as. So I have already created a folder and I called it cards. And we're going to be creating a Mother's Day card for today's project. So we can call it, Mommy Day. There you go. Goodness. Yep, Mommy Day. Oh. That works, Mommy Day. Okay. And we can tell it, if we just leave it at that and hit save, it's going to save it in this computer on your desktop. But so we have to tell it precisely that we want it in the cards folder. Now it tells us that it's going to be saved within this computer, within the desktop is a folder called cards. This is where our card that we're going to work with is going to be stored. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And so it saved it, right? But obviously this is not a mommy's card. So let's go ahead and begin the creation of that. So we're going to go to file, we're going to go to new, and here is where we can say Mother's Day. Let's see what we get if we search for. So I'm searching here. Okay, I just typed in the search field. It's searching all the online templates. And we're provided with quite a bit of list to choose from. And everybody's gonna choose, of course, their taste. I'm gonna choose this one, and we're gonna go ahead and give us a more broader view of it, of what it looks like. So this is what our card is gonna appear like. And so from here, if we want to look at other options, we can just click on the arrow so we can get a bigger view of it. And then once we've chose the one that we're happy with, we can click on the option to create. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and double click this because I know I want it, and it's loading it right now, as you can see, because I double clicked. Now what happened when I did this, because remember the other document, we saved it, right? This in theory, we just opened, right? We went to file new and we just opened a Mother's Day card of our choice. But if you notice, look at the document name, because this is the third document that we have opened since we've had this session running. So in theory, if I go to file and save, watch what happens. Okay, so it tells me, where do you want to save it? Because I have not saved this document 3 because it's the third time I opened it when I went to file new. So if we want to add this to our card, here's the most recent directory. So this is the most recent location that was used for saving. So if I click on it, it's going to load it up, and then it's, you know, we can call it the same thing, right? And so what I'm doing is replacing it. Watch what happens when I replace it. I get this warning, what cannot save it because, oh, because the other one is open. So I have to close it first. My mistake, one moment. So this has to be closed in order for me. All right, let me close this because it's just the application limitation. Now let's go ahead and save this. And so the reason I'm clicking on it is to just replace the name of it so I don't have to retype it. So now the name of this document, which is document number 3, is going to be replaced by this mommy, because now we're creating the card. And then it says, this is the dialogue you should be getting. Do you want to replace the existing file? Do you want to save changes with a different name? Because you cannot have 2 Microsoft Word document with the identical names. They have to be different, even if it's just adding a dot or the number 1 and number 2, you know, document 1, document 2, and so forth. But in this case, I'm really just going to replace it because I'm not interested in keeping the other one. So I said replace, and look what happens now. This document is now called Mommy Day. And now our document is open and ready for us to begin the fun creation, okay, of our Mother's Day card. So this is where we get to utilize all the features available to us. And let's begin with the insert option. So we're going to go to insert, and let's insert. Let's see, I'm trying to think where we want to insert. Let's insert it here. I'm going to insert, you see where this cursor is? It's not really that obvious, but it's right over here, right under the happy is my cursor. So wherever your cursor is where you're telling the application you want to insert an image. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit in picture, and we're going to insert a picture from this computer because I have saved one. Ooh. And and we're gonna go to desktop, and we're gonna go to class docs. There we go, Mother's Day. Let's see, and let's do this one, and we'll insert that. Okay, so we just inserted an image. What just happened, right? The entire format, right? Because we see the format, the picture. So the format of it kind of overtook some of the background, and it started, in a sense, kind of staggering them everywhere. So what we're gonna have to do is resize it. And what I'm doing to resize is I move my cursor to the corner, then I select this. So I, hold and drag. So in this case, I'm shrinking it. If I want it bigger, I just drag out to make it bigger. But I want to make it, in this case, smaller. So I think I'm happy with that. So go ahead and play with the sizing that you're happy with. Trying to kind of make it look right within. Let me see if I can do something here. So here's what I'm going to try. Here's happy. And if we do enter, look, see what's doing. When I do enter, it's bringing it a little bit closer and to the, so you have to play with the image till you get it where you're happy with it. And once we're happy with our image, as far as where we want to resize it, then we can begin the next feature. Okay, I think that's a good one here. Now let's begin the decoration of our Mother's Day card. And we're gonna go ahead and go to the layout. We're gonna click on this because this is what we're kind of reviewing, is the picture. Let's click on the picture format, actually. Picture format tab. And this is what's highlighted. We see all the corners lit up in the little circles. So that means this image is the active image. And so we're gonna go ahead from here and start playing with the style of the image and see which one we're happy with. I think this one might be a good one. Yes, I'm very happy with that. I'm just gonna go ahead and select that. And you can also do the picture effects. Let's see what we have here. Kind of hard to see when that's in the background, right? Let's move the image just so you can see what I'm doing here with the picture effect. So there's our picture effect. Shadow. That's fine. I might want it there, actually. Or there. There, yes. All right. So that's the image. Okay, so as soon as I clicked outside of it, see what happens. It brings us back to our home tab, and here we are. Happy Mommy Day, and that, and maybe we can come here. So I'm double clicking to bring my cursor here, and we can say, we love you to the moon and back. Something like that. Now let's look at our image here. Because remember, this is a card. We're making a Happy Mother's Day card. And here's our note. To get started, we can just click on that and we can type in what we want. Thank you for feeding our tummies with, oops, typo. Yeah, let's do tummies with such yummy. There you go. Yummy food. You're the best. Like that, right? So this one still got that. Maybe it's that. All right. So maybe we want to change the coloring of that, right? So the next thing we want to do is highlight it. So you see what I did? I moved my cursor to the end of the message, and then I held it and dragged to thank you, because that's what I want to change. And this typically pops up for you what you want to change. So I'm going to change the color to do that color. And then I'm going to also, let's do the layout and see what actions we have. Not much with that. Okay, let's play with the. All right, so now if you happen to notice, there's a lot of additional pages, right? So we're gonna go ahead and begin cleaning the image because we're getting close to our timing here. So what I'm doing is hitting backspace. Let's see, really we need to delete that. So they had it as a header. So, okay, now that we have it all selected, we can delete it. We should be able to highlight and delete the image or the entire page. Oh, I know, we have our header selected. That's why it's being a stickler. So let's get out of the header. First, let's make this smaller so that it fits the page. So you see what I'm doing? I'm highlighting it, and we can either right click. So highlight, either right click, and you get this pop up, and you can resize it. Size it to that. We want to resize that as well. Say to that, but still, and let's bring that. All right, well, here's what's happening. So you're going to get multiple pages, but the nice thing when it comes to printing, just to make certain, so it's going to be in your file tab. Back to our home page. There's our home. Left of it is file. And about halfway down, we have our print. So let's make sure what it looks like, right, when we print it. So we can print the first page. This is page 1. And really we can, because it's going to be flipped, right? Because this is a card. And then at page 2, so here's our pages. That's copies, actually. Copies, print all pages. You can just print the current page, which is just that. Let's see what the next page is, though. Let me move this dialogue up there. And all right, you got 3 pages here. So all right, here's our second page. So we can clean that up. And we really don't need the 3rd page, right? So we can see that we would print additional pages than what we need. And we're not going to need this at all. So we don't have to print page 3. We can come to this, and we can actually delete that and make our own sizing here. Actually, because it's duplicate, we can get rid of that. So see, I highlighted it, and I'm just cleaning it up and get rid of that. So what we're doing is highlighting and deleting. That's all we're doing, highlight and delete. And this is going to be more of a custom image. Do you see what's happening? The entire thing is formatted. So when you highlight just one section, the entire image is highlighted. So you cannot just delete pages, because then it would delete that entire thing. So in this case, that's fine. We've shrunk it up to 2 pages, and that would be what it would take to make that card, to flip it and, and have our writing. Now, what if we really just wanted 1 page? What if we just wanted this and we wanted to flip it and get rid of that, so we can clean that up? And we wanted to get rid of that because it's already duplicate, right? It's already up there. Happy Mother's Day. And we can bring this up. So you see what I'm doing? I'm highlighting it. And we can right click and go to copy, or you can use your short keyboard keys, Control C to copy. And now if we come here and go right click and paste, and see what it did, it brought it up there for us. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. Okay. So we're cleaning it up. So we already have all that. Now we can also copy this, or we can rewrite it. But so again, highlight and go to Control C, or right click and go to copy, either way. And get rid of that, delete that. And then we can down here, there we go. Now we see the cursor there. You have to double click on it and then tap it, Love Family. And then maybe we want to change that to a different color so it'll stand out. There, with that. So now this page can be really all got, cleaned up, because we're not going to be printing that page anyways. And there's our 1 single page card. Okay, so there's our Happy Mother's Day. We love you to the moon and back. We can get rid of that. Or we can add, be creative, and I would like to add, come on, gotta kind of tap it till you get the cursor so you can type. This is what I want to do. I want to type. I don't want to insert. Happy day every day. And maybe we want to change that to something like, all I'm doing is highlighting the colors to see which one stands out. So I'm going to stick with that. And we can also come here and we can change our paint, see how it changes that entire border, the background, if you wanted to see. Happy day every day. But we can also undo, coming back to the left and hitting that undo. Control Z for shortcut access also allows you to undo. Okay, so I think our Happy Mother's Day is looking good here. And so now we're ready to save it. We can go to File, and we've already saved it before. We see that on the top, the name of it, mommyday.docs. So when we hit save, it's going to save it as it is. Keep in mind, you also have this disk, floppy disk like save option that allows you to auto, to save it. If you have your OneDrive on, it auto saves it anyhow every, I believe, 3 minutes. I might not be certain on that, but anyhow, so we're ready to look at our print of our document. Yay, it's looking lovely. Let's just move this navigation. All right, so we have 3 pages, but we really only need 1 page because we've summed up everything into 1 page. And if we're happy with what we see, then we can begin selecting our printer here on the left. So once you've selected your printer, then you want to choose current page, because we've narrowed it down from multiple pages to 1 page. And it's only applicable to one-sided because we're making a card. If this was a letter or some sort of document else of writing, you would have the option for both sided. And then from here, really all the way at the bottom, you'll have the option to print. Oh, there on the top left-hand side, you see print. And so it would, at that point, eject our document to our selected printer. All right, now we are getting close to wrapping up. Let's go ahead and save the document, as I said, and then we are going to close it and then reopen it, okay? So I'm gonna go back to the desk and there's Word. But if I type in just Word, watch what happens. It gives me the most recent documents. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose Mommy document, and it should open up for us our Word. And there it is. And it's saved in the, so we'll go to File and Close. And this was our first document that we had opened for best practices. Now we're here, but if we go to our card, we should see our mommy.docs, and there it is. Let's go back to our PowerPoint for more information in regards to the session, the session. So here we are, we're back in our PowerPoint. Keep in mind, there are one-on-one sessions, and these are free, and they are your choice of topic. That's our timer here, just letting us know to wrap up. Yes, so free one-on-one sessions, your choice of topic, third Thursday of the month from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is for the East Polk Library. Phone number is 423-548-4004. Their hours is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, they're closed. And if these times do not work for you, you can always call the library and they will work with you. You can also follow their YouTube channel and their Facebook page. They keep their events and educational information posted for your knowledge expansion. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you for being here. It's been a blessing, and have a wonderful day.